everyone, and welcome to the stream. My name is Marlon. Hope you guys having a good day, or guys hoping that you guys would have better days or whatever. So basically, today is Friday, June 13th, 2025. Of course, today is Friday the 13th, so I guess you may have wondered why is it only just weather today. Well, folks, I am currently dealing with a very, very complicated situation on my end. I'm not going to go specific about it, but all it has to do with is just me just looking for a car. And also, Father's Day's coming up. Nothing wrong with my dad, just me. It's just that I need to look for a car, and well, I don't know if I'm going to I'm going to be out of town, but not only because of the weather, but also because, the traffic, and also trying to find the right price for me based on location. So that means right now I'm in a bit of a bind. So, what does this mean for you guys? That means that I'm not going to be able to stream on Saturday. And if I do, well, there's gonna be a late IG announcement, actually, for that. But that would mean that if I go on Saturday, chances are I'm gonna stream for you guys on Sunday. But if I don't go on Saturday, I'll stream for you guys tomorrow. That, I know it's a contradiction, but it's just something that is complicating me right now. All I know is that I'm just pretty tired, and right now I'm in a bind right now. I mean, I just got out of work, and for the most part, now I'm just talking about the weather for you guys. But I know right now I'm not talking about the weather, I'm just talking about the updates about what's going to happen this weekend. But let's just say that today we're only going to be dealing with the weather, no Minecraft. Kingdom Hearts 2 will be either tomorrow or Sunday. But like I said, there will be an IG announcement tomorrow morning, Eastern Daylight Time, like probably sometime around probably noon Eastern Daylight Time. But if I don't make that announcement, then I guess that means that there will be no stream. But it wouldn't hurt for you guys to hit me with a follow and turn on the notifications so that you guys would know whether if I'll be streaming or not. Okay, hold on, let me mute the mic. Never mind. Alright, so let's talk about the weather right now. So, okay, let me center this right here, and we are gonna go to here. This is the reflectivity radar right now, but before we do that, let's see what we got with the active weather alerts. There are 165 active weather alerts. 15 are severe thunderstorm warnings in Montana, Wyoming, Virginia, Indiana, Tennessee, and Canada. There are 6 flash flood warnings in Virginia, North Carolina, West Virginia, and Indiana. There are 18 special weather statements in Texas, Kentucky, Wyoming, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Colorado, Alabama, New Mexico, I think I already said Colorado, or Indiana. "13 non-precipitation warnings, 10 extreme heat warnings in places like Phoenix, in Yuma, and as well as Blythe. That's the second one. Third one is located in the heart of Maricopa County. Phoenix, I should say. Fourth one is in Las Vegas in Clark County. There's the fifth one is in Tucson. The sixth one is in Grand Canyon National Park. What about the seventh one? Let's see what we got for the seventh. I think that's the same place. Well, same place as Yuma. That's the 8th, and the 9th in Mesa, just still located in Maricopa County, I would assume. And finally, we do have one also in Mesa. Okay. Then we have 3 air quality alerts in places like the greater New York City area, consisting of Long Island, the 5 boroughs, the Hudson Valley, and much of New Jersey. Second one is located in the Philadelphia area, especially South Jersey. And finally, okay, so it turns out it's mainly the greater New York City area and Philadelphia. Okay. There are 110 flood warnings, but we're not going to go through all of them. And finally, there are 2 red flag warnings. One is located in northeastern California and northwestern Nevada. And the second one is located in places like Reno, Carson City, and Lake Tahoe. Alright, so I'm not going to go through the whole list again, but we are going to check the radar right now. So what do we got? I'm playing the loop, 3-hour loop, the past 3-hour loop, I should say, about what's going on throughout the past 3 hours in places like the Northeast. So right now, as you can see, there is a stationary front that's located on the north side of the Ohio Valley, extending towards the Mid-Atlantic, through the Washington, D.C. area, through the Delmarva Peninsula, and extending out to sea. So currently, let's go over New England. So New England, you're seeing some passing clouds and showers through Vermont and New Hampshire and parts of Maine, but it appears that it's dissipating. Southern part of New England, you do have mostly clear skies for the most part, though there is a blotch of showers just in the vicinity of the New York City area. Upstate New York, you have the Adirondacks with passing clouds and showers going through that region, coming from Canada. And you also have some showers just to the south of Buffalo, and maybe a few rumbles of thunder there. Of course, I did mention that there are chances of thunderstorms and some rain showers passing through northern New Jersey, the Hudson Valley. Elsewhere in the Keystone State, there are also some spotty showers and thunderstorms moving through the Keystone State from the west towards the east. And what do we have here? Well, we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in places like Luray and Staunton, Virginia, just on the Appalachian side of Virginia. It's all because you have pop-up showers and thunderstorms from West Virginia, moving on towards the east, affecting places like the Washington, D.C. area, and even parts of Baltimore and Annapolis, and even the Delmarva Peninsula. Yet there's also flash flood warning that's located near Onondaga, Virginia. There are also pop-up scattered thunderstorms right along the I-95 near Richmond, Petersburg, Emporia, moving to the east right now. Elsewhere in Virginia, West Virginia, there are showers and thunderstorms rolling through, coming from the Ohio Valley, going towards the Mountaineer State. And it's only a matter of minutes before thunderstorm starts rumbling throughout the Mountaineer State. We're going down to the Carolinas, where there are 2 flash flood warnings just to the east of Charlotte. but mostly it's all just thunderstorms, big old downpour right along the Carolinas. It's moving towards the east right now, but it gets worse in the coastal part of the Carolinas. There's a special weather statement near Columbia, South Carolina, the state capital. Plus plenty of scattered showers and thunderstorms moving across the Peach State right now as we speak, folks. Widespread, though. Florida, there are plenty of pop-up thunderstorms moving upwards right now as we speak. Affecting places, well, anywhere just north, anywhere near Naples and West Palm Beach and points north. It's all just thunderstorms there, but it's clearing up right now in Miami, but chances are there could be some few showers and thunderstorms approaching Miami. And what do you know? Looks like one tornado warning has been issued in Colorado, so get to it in a moment. Okay, so elsewhere we do have thunderstorms rolling across places like Alabama and Mississippi. Northern Mississippi, it looks like as though it's in trouble, along with the majority of Alabama. Though there are some spotty showers and thunderstorms rolling through the southern tip of Mississippi, but it's still moving towards Alabama, though. But really, there's a special weather statement just southeast of Montgomery. And in Mississippi, there are some flood warnings throughout the Magnolia State in the central part, especially in eastern Louisiana and northern Louisiana too, though right now there are lots of showers and thunderstorms in the southern and western part of the state. 3 hours ago it was pouring, but now it's moving towards the northeast. Special weather statement has been issued in the northeastern corner of Louisiana. Texas has a lot of flood warnings all over the eastern half of the state. And the special weather statement just north of Houston. Though there are storms that are plaguing through the eastern part of Texas and as well as the western part of Texas too. With a special weather statement there. Elsewhere, it's quite calm, but although there's still a flood warning there from San Antonio to Victoria to Houston up north to Dallas and Tyler. Arkansas and Tennessee. So Tennessee, they're getting a lot of thunderstorm action all across the volunteer state. Nashville in particular, it's getting a lot of thunderstorms right now. And yet there's still more to come though. But right now it's just dissipating. In Arkansas, from what it looks like, the northern 2/3 of the state has been hit with thunderstorms, though it's moving away. It's just drying up on the western side. Oklahoma, starting to dry up, but there's still some thunderstorms scattered throughout the state, but nothing widespread right now. In the Ohio Valley, like Kentucky, they're getting a lot of thunderstorms, strong enough thunderstorms to issue special weather statements there, but not enough to issue severe thunderstorm warnings, though. Ohio, you do have thunderstorms, some showers moving towards the Buckeye State, yet it's moving east, though, especially Indiana and Illinois. Though there is a center low just located in Missouri. I mean, that's the reason why you're seeing the circulation right now, folks. There's a lot of wet weather and some thunderstorms in Missouri. Just a little bit in western Kansas. It's dissipating on the eastern side, though. Rolling through Dodge City, showers on either side of the lower peninsula of Michigan, though there are some showers that are still present, some clouds throughout the upper peninsula of Michigan. Wisconsin, there are some showers and thunderstorms on the northern half of the state, especially some pop-up showers and thunderstorms in southern Minnesota, rolling across the state towards the east, but yet starting to dissipate on the northern side of the state. Not much going on. Iowa, for the most part, Iowa is kind of clear. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Okay, so for Iowa, it's mostly clear, just a few spotty showers, maybe some thunderstorms throughout various parts of the state, but nothing widespread though. Let's see what we got for Nebraska. Nebraska, just a little bit of showers in some parts of the state, but other than that, much of the state is dry. Then in the Dakotas, just a few showers, a few clouds present, but they're dissipating right now as we speak. In the northern Rockies, you have plenty of thunderstorms that are brewing in parts of Wyoming, western Montana, moving in towards the east, and it's also coming from the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho, though on the western side, it's dissipating. It's only moving towards the northeast right now. And then you have some thunderstorms that are being spawned right now near Pocatello, but still moving towards the northeast though. Colorado. So now the moment you've been waiting for, the tornado warning. So let's go to the tornado warning real quick. Let's find that tornado, folks. That's the correlation coefficient. This is the radar. Kind of looks like a hook echo, folks. Just a little bit of drag right here. I don't know if that'll constitute as a tornado, folks, but I mean, it's only because it's near a metropolitan area, just to the north of the airport. But for the most part, oh, I see there is another tornado warning, folks. I see right now, and from what it looks like, it may be moving towards the north right now. So let me play that radar real quick. Yeah, so you're getting this part here. Getting the tornado warning right here. And let's go back here. Sorry once again. Okay, yeah, I see you. Yeah, tornadoes formed right here. Which means that winds are moving towards that direction right now. And the tornado is going to be moving towards places like Lac Bouy and Hudson, Colorado. Other than that, they're just a bunch of special weather statements near the Mile High City. As for the correlation coefficient, let me see. Correlation coefficient, I mean, there's a lot of foreign objects surrounding the storm. Maybe right around here there's some debris, but around it's other things. Elsewhere, not much, just some scattered showers throughout Colorado. Utah, for the most part, is dry. No need to worry about that, but plenty of thunderstorms are popping up. Some are severe, coming from the Rockies, all because of the updraft. Then in Nevada, you're not getting anything as well, especially California. Spoiler alert. New Mexico, New Mexico, they're getting some pop-up thunderstorms. Special weather statements are there. Small hail damaging winds in association with some thunderstorms, strong ones. There's also plenty of pop-up thunderstorms right now in western New Mexico. For the most part, it's moving towards that direction. In Arizona, not much. In the Pacific Northwest, pop-up showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. In northern Oregon, they're moving towards the northeast right now, going through Washington State and Idaho. And in Washington State, some showers lingering around, popping up some thunderstorms, moving in towards the northeast, yet clouds and showers rolling through the northeastern part of Washington State. All right, folks. I think we got. I think we got everything we needed to discuss about for right now. So let's transition right now to here. So what are we talking about right now? So for the most part, it's only just light and variable winds for most of the Northeast. Nothing more than 20 to 25 miles per hour, region-wide, especially in Virginia and Philadelphia and the Chesapeake Bay area. Let's see, let's dissect this just a little bit. So, sorry about that. Coastal Maine, coastal Maine, they're getting some strong sea breeze of up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. Inland, elsewhere, winds are coming from the northwest, blowing at no more than 20 miles per hour. There is a surface high just sitting off of the Gulf of Maine. Yeah, which is responsible for bringing all that strong sea breeze, not only in Maine, but through New Hampshire, Massachusetts, especially in Rhode Island and Connecticut, and Long Island too, and the Jersey Shore. Temperatures in Maine are in the 50s to mid 60s. Then you have light and variable winds in the southern part of Vermont. Elsewhere, winds are coming from the northwest, blowing at up to 15 miles per hour with temperatures in the 50s to low 60s. Southern New England, like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, winds, they're light and variable inland, but on the coastal side, they're coming from the Atlantic and the Long Island Sound. Temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 80s. Upstate New York, hold on. Alright, I'm back. Upstate New York, most of upstate New York does have calmer winds right now. Yet, Lake Ontario, winds are actually moving towards the lake shore of upstate New York and then towards Lake Erie with wind speeds of up to 25 to 30 miles per hour, though. It's quite an exception to the rest of the Northeast, though. Temperatures throughout much of upstate New York, they range from the upper 50s to low 70s. The greater New York City area, let's see, you have much of you have Hudson Valley and Connecticut. Much of Connecticut winds are very light and variable, but coastal Connecticut, Long Island, the five boroughs area, and even parts of New Jersey, northern New Jersey. Well, the entirety of New Jersey. Temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 80s. Pennsylvania, you have winds that are generally blowing towards the west. In southeastern Pennsylvania, winds are up to 20 miles per hour, but it becomes light and variable. In the southwestern part of the state, particularly in Pittsburgh, temperatures there are in the mid 60s to low 80s. The Delmarva Peninsula, you have temperatures that are in the 70s to low 80s. You have winds in Delaware that are blowing towards the northwest at up to 20 miles per hour. And the rest of the Delmarva Peninsula, you have winds coming from the south. In western Maryland and plus Washington, D.C., temperatures are in the upper 70s to low 90s, with winds coming from the Chesapeake Bay blowing towards the northwest, but it becomes light and variable up in the mountains. West Virginia, you have winds generally blowing from the southwest, becoming very light though. Temperatures are in the mid 60s to mid 70s there. In Virginia, you have winds generally blowing from the northwest, shifting towards the north. You have from the southwest the winds, but blowing towards the north. Blowing throughout much of Virginia, winds are blowing at around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures are in the upper 70s to low 90s. Sorry about that. In the Carolinas, winds are blowing from the southwest. In North Carolina, winds are stronger, blowing up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. Yet temperatures are in the 80s, are in the mid 70s to mid 80s, mid 70s to mid 80s, I should say. Georgia, you have winds that are generally blowing from the south. Winds are only up to 20 miles per hour, but it gets lighter in the northern part of Georgia. Temperatures there are in the 80s. Florida, you have winds that are in the peninsula part. Winds are coming from the southeast, blowing and shifting towards the north. In the panhandle of Florida, you have winds that are only blowing from the Gulf straight up north. Wind speeds are no more than 25 miles per hour. A few areas may be a little higher due to the sea breeze. Temperatures are in the 80s statewide. Tennessee, you have on the western half of the state, winds are blowing at up to 30 miles per hour in many areas. Blowing towards the north, though. In the eastern half of Tennessee, winds are very light and variable there. Temperatures are in the mid 70s to upper 80s. Alabama, Mississippi, winds are generally blowing from the Gulf, blowing at no more than 25 to 30 miles per hour in some areas, a little lighter in other places. Temperatures there are in the mid 70s to upper 80s. Arkansas, you have winds that are blowing from the southwest. The wind speeds are up to 30 miles an hour in the northeastern part of the state. Elsewhere, it's light. Temperatures there are in the upper 70s to upper 80s. Louisiana, winds are generally coming from the Gulf. In some areas, winds are blowing up to 25 to 30 miles per hour there. Temperatures are in the mid 70s to upper 80s. In Texas, much of the state, you have winds that are generally either coming from the Gulf or blowing towards the north. Though for the wind speeds from what it looks like, the base of the western and panhandle parts of Texas, meaning areas in Odessa, Abilene, and San Angelo, winds are blowing at up to 30 miles per hour there, maybe a little higher in a few areas. But just on the western side of Texas, winds are coming from the east, blowing up to 25 to 30 miles per hour there. But in between near Alpine, it's converging winds, just light and variable though. In the panhandle of Texas, temperatures are in the mid 80s to low 90s. Western Texas, same story. Well, except Alpine is at 95 degrees. Southern part of Texas, you have temperatures that are in the 80s to upper 90s there. Eastern Texas, temperatures are in the 80s. Northeastern Texas, temperatures are in the 80s to mid 90s. Oklahoma, you have winds in the what it looks like the southern half of the state. They're coming from the south, blowing at up to about 30 miles an hour, maybe a little higher in some areas, but they're shifting towards the northwest. But in eastern Oklahoma, you have winds that are shifting towards the northeast, but winds becoming light and variable on the northeastern corner of the state. Temperatures in Oklahoma, they're in the 80s. Sorry about that. Let's see. Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. Too much noise outside. Not me, though. Anyway, Kentucky, you do have winds that are generally coming from the south, but in western Kentucky, winds are shifting towards the northwest, with winds blowing up to 25 to 30 miles per hour in some areas. Eastern Kentucky, winds are very light and variable, but some of the winds are blowing towards the northeast, though. Temperatures in Kentucky, they're in the upper 60s to mid 70s. Ohio, winds are coming from the Lake Erie, blowing up to 20 miles per hour, but becoming light though, shifting towards the east. But in western Ohio, either in the northwestern corner of Ohio, they're shifting towards the west. Southwest Ohio becoming light and variable though. Temperatures there are in the upper 60s to low 80s. Indiana, winds are generally blowing towards the northwest, though temperatures are in the upper 60s to mid 70s there. In Illinois, you have winds. In northern Illinois, winds are blowing towards the west, but in southern Illinois, winds are shifting from the south to the west. Temperatures there, they're in the upper 60s to mid 70s there. And you have Michigan and Wisconsin. So, for the most part, winds are generally blowing towards the west all over Michigan and Wisconsin. Though winds are very strong at just around 30 miles an hour in central Wisconsin, especially in central lower peninsula of Michigan. Winds are very light in upper peninsula Michigan. Temperatures range from 61 in Traverse City to 80 in Grand Rapids. Upper Peninsula, that's the lower peninsula. Upper Peninsula, Michigan, temperatures are in the upper 40s to upper 50s. Wisconsin, temperatures range from 50 in Woodruff to 75 in Elroy. Minnesota, you have winds in the northern half of the state. Winds are shifting from the east to the northwest, southern half of the state. They're shifting towards the southwest with a low pressure center just located in the southwestern corner of the state. Winds throughout much of the state, they're blowing up to 30, maybe a little higher, just about up to 40 miles an hour. Temperatures in the northern half of the state, they are in the 50s to upper 60s. Southern half, mid 50s to low 70s. Sorry about that. Iowa, winds are generally blowing towards the north. Light and variable. Light winds are in the southwestern corner of the state. Northern edge of the state, just up to 20 miles an hour there. Temperatures there are in the 80s. Missouri, you have a strong surface low pressure center just located near the middle of the state. That's when you have much of the winds spiraling counterclockwise there. But in northern, hold on just a minute. I thought I mute the mic. I'm so sorry about that, folks. But luckily, there was no copyrighted music that was being played. I'm deeply sorry for that, folks. Anyway, in the northern part of the state, winds are actually very light and variable. Temperatures in Missouri, they're in the 70s. Kansas and Nebraska. So basically, winds are very light and variable in the eastern halves of each state, yet in the northeastern part of Nebraska, winds are actually blowing towards the northeast up to 20 miles per hour there. But in eastern and southeastern Kansas, winds are actually blowing towards the south, but still light and variable, just no more than 15 miles per hour there. In the western half of Nebraska and Kansas, winds are blowing towards the northwest, blowing at around 30, maybe a little higher in some areas. Temperatures in Kansas, they're in the 80s. Nebraska, they're in the mid 70s to upper 80s. Mid 80s, I mean. The Dakotas, so for the most part, North Dakota, winds are shifting from the east towards the northwest, blowing at up to 30 to 40 miles per hour there. South Dakota, in the eastern half of the state, winds are coming from the northeast, but shifting towards the east, back east, towards that surface low pressure area that's located in southwestern Minnesota I mentioned a few minutes ago. Western half, winds are blowing towards the northwest. In some areas, blowing up to 30 miles an hour. It's just a little lighter in other areas. Temperatures in South Dakota, they range from 64 in Aberdeen to 88 in Sioux City. I don't know if that's Iowa, but if that's Iowa, so sorry about that. I would mean 82 in Sioux Falls. North Dakota, temperatures are in the 60s to mid 70s. Let's go to the Northern Rockies. In the eastern parts of Wyoming and Montana, winds are blowing towards the northeast, blowing at up to 30, maybe a little higher in some areas. In western Montana and western Wyoming, winds are actually blowing towards the northeast, but winds are stronger at around 30 miles per hour, maybe a little higher in some areas in western Wyoming. Sorry about that, folks. Well, winds are a little lighter in the western side of Montana. Central parts of Wyoming and Montana, they have converging winds that are becoming light and variable, though. Idaho, in the winds are in the most part of the state, they're blowing towards the northeast, but winds are stronger in the southern part of Idaho, blowing up to 30, maybe a little higher in some areas. Central Idaho, winds are actually very light and variable, but generally they're blowing towards the east, though. Just up to 25 miles per hour in northern Idaho. Temperatures in Montana, you have temperatures that range from 68 in Harlan to 80 in Billings. Idaho, temperatures in the northern half of the state, they are in the upper 50s to mid 60s. Southern Idaho, temperatures are in the 70s to mid 80s. Wyoming, temperatures are in the 70s to mid 80s. Go to Colorado. Colorado, western half of the state, winds are coming from the southwest, blowing at about 30 miles an hour, maybe a little higher in some areas. In the eastern part of the state, winds are coming from the southeast, blowing up also up to 30 miles per hour, maybe a little higher in a few areas. But in the central part of the state, in the Rockies, winds are somewhat light and variable, but they look like as though they may be shifting the winds towards the north. Temperature-wise, you have temperatures range from 75 in Colorado Springs to 97 in Grand Junction. And you have Utah. You have winds generally blowing from the southwest, but they're stronger in the southwestern part of Utah, blowing up to 30, maybe a little higher, up to 40. Temperatures throughout much of the state, they range, they're in the 80s to upper 90s there. Nevada, you have winds generally blowing towards the northeast. In southern Nevada, you have winds coming from the south, shifting towards the northeast, though, with winds blowing up to 30 miles per hour there, especially in the northwestern corner of the state. A little lighter in central western Nevada. Temperatures in the northern half of the state, they are in the 70s to low 80s. Southern half, temperatures are well into the 80s, 90s, and even in the low hundreds. You have New Mexico. You have winds that are generally blowing towards the east. They're strong in the western side, just up to 30 miles per hour in a few areas, but a little lighter in the eastern part of New Mexico. Throughout New Mexico, temperatures are in the mid-80s to mid-90s there. Well, 80s to mid-90s there. Arizona, you have winds. They're coming from the Gulf of California, shifting towards the northeast. Much of the state, wind speeds are up to 30, maybe a little higher, up to 40 miles per hour there. Temperatures in the northern half of the state, they range from 79 in Flagstaff to 93 in Kingman. Southern half, temperatures are in the triple digits. California, the immediate coastal side of California, you have winds, strong winds, blowing up to 30 to 40 miles per hour, maybe a little higher in a few areas. But in Southern California, you have winds that are light, but moving towards the LA Basin and then crossing through the San Gabriel Mountains and then into Death Valley and the Mojave Desert. So winds are stronger, just up to 30 miles per hour, just north of LA, and especially on the northeastern part of California, in a few areas, just within inside the Bay Area of San Francisco. But regardless, inland winds are blowing towards the northeast, though, except for the Colorado River Valley, where winds are blowing towards the north, though. It's 68 in San Diego, 102 in Indio. LA, it's 80, 95 in Fresno, Bakersfield. Temperatures are in the 70s in the Bay Area. Sacramento and Chico and Redding, they have 86 degrees, 57 in Eureka. And finally, the Pacific Northwest, you have winds coming from the Pacific. In the immediate coastal parts of Oregon, you have stronger winds of up to 40 miles per hour. But regardless, winds are going up the Cascades and into the leeward side of the Cascades. Some of its winds, particularly in Washington State, shifting towards the northeast. In Oregon, just to the east in general. In the Cascades, the mountainous parts, winds are actually blowing at about 40 miles an hour because some places may have higher wind speeds there. Otherwise, it's just lighter, just up to 20 miles per hour. In Oregon, temperatures are in the 60s to mid-70s. So Washington State, temperatures are in the 60s to upper 70s there. Go to gusts. Well, you do have strong gusts of up to 40 miles per hour in the mid to low Mississippi Valley, parts of Texas. Just a little higher in southern Texas, though, up to 50. Stronger gusts in the northern plains and upper Mississippi Valley. In a few areas, just a little near 60 or above. But, however, local wind reports would actually tell you otherwise, because it may have to do with severe weather, though. Stronger winds are in the Rockies. Some of them may be a little higher than 60 miles an hour, especially in the Great Basin and the Sierra Nevadas and even the Cascades. Now let's go to humidity. There's plenty of humidity just offshore near Atlantic City, Cape May, New Jersey, and especially in the mid-Mississippi Valley, and as well as the upper Mississippi Valley too, near the Great Lakes region. Now let's take a look at the rainfall accumulation. Just an estimate, folks. For the most part in Pennsylvania, right around the Susquehanna River Valley, just an estimated up to 3 inches of rain. And right along the I-90 corridor, from Buffalo all the way to Boston, some places may get up to 2 inches of rain. Long Island, an estimate of about up to a half an inch to a full inch of rain. It depends, but it's going to happen later tonight, just so you know, folks. The Mid-Atlantic, Virginia and the Carolinas, up to 2 inches of rain there, especially Georgia, up to 3. Florida, some places may get up to an inch of rain. And the mid-Mississippi Valley, Ohio valleys, an estimate of up to an inch to maybe up to 2 inches of rain. Some places, Minnesota, up to 2 to 3. Nebraska, up to an inch. Montana, also up to maybe up to an inch or 2. And now let's go to here, where we're going to talk about the upper part of the atmosphere, in the troposphere, actually. So what do we got? So we do have a trough located in the mid-Mississippi Valley in Missouri, and a ridge over the desert southwest, a trough just off of British Columbia, and a flattened ridge just located over the Carolinas, which means there is plenty of wet weather throughout the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley too, the Mid-Atlantic, and we might get some in the Northeast. And even some wet weather throughout parts of the Great Basin, and that explains the tornado warning in Colorado. Plenty of wet weather in parts of the Northern Rockies too. Now let's move on to 24 hours from now, which is Saturday night. There's going to be a small trough over the Mississippi Valley, and as well as a ridge just located in the Colorado Rockies, over the Colorado Rockies, and a flat ridge off of the Carolinas. And a trough just located near British Columbia, which means that there could be plenty of storms that could be brewing throughout the Great Basin, California, Pacific Northwest, Northern Rockies, and as well as plenty of wet weather throughout parts of the East Coast, particularly in the Mid-Atlantic, maybe going as far up north as the New York City area. The Southeast will get some wet weather, though severe weather, it's not much going on in terms of severe weather, but I would say for the most part, do grab your rain gear for tomorrow. Well, we'll check the precipitation for later on in this stream. It'll take about a few more minutes, folks, for that to happen, but just bear with me on this. We move on to Sunday night. So by Sunday night, there's still going to be a small trough just over the Mississippi Valley, an upper level low, upper level high, just over the desert southwest, which means a ridge is going to occur throughout the Rockies and the western Great Plains. And another ridge just over the southeast too, which means that there's going to be some wet weather, maybe some storms throughout the south and the mid-Atlantic, even the Carolinas, and as well as plenty of action throughout the Great Basin, the west, the Rockies, and finally, by Monday night, there's actually going to be a trough that's going to be over the Pacific Northwest, dipping down towards California. And there's going to be a ridge just over Texas, and another ridge just over the Carolinas, and as well as a small trough over the lower Mississippi Valley. Maybe a tiny bit over Michigan. And there's a little bit of ridge just over the Canadian Rockies, which means that there's going to be wet weather, strong weather throughout the south, the mid-Atlantic, and as well as the desert southwest, the Rockies, the Great Basin too. Now let's move on to here. Now let's talk. Okay, so the tornado warning has expired in Colorado, so that means no tornado warnings right now. So it was pretty much a weak tornado in my prediction. Doesn't really mean that that I'm right about this. I mean, consult with the local officials there, because they're the ones who provide the actual and accurate reports than I do. I'm just, it's all just from an outsider's perspective. Now let's move on to the models right now. Alright, so let's talk temperatures right now. So, start off with tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of warm lows throughout the Gulf Coast. Plenty of warm lows throughout the rest of the South, the Mid-Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, the Mississippi Valley, Central Great Plains, and even some in the desert southwest, though. Very chilly temperatures throughout the Pacific Northwest, upper Mississippi Valley, especially the upper northern plains and northern half of the Great Lakes region, and even the interior Northeast, too. New England and the Rockies. Moving on to tomorrow night. Plenty of heat to go around in Texas, the southern plains, parts of the southeast, Louisiana, lower Mississippi Valley, desert southwest, much of California, especially in the Great Basin, and even parts of the central plains too. Chilly weather throughout much of New England, and even parts of the northern half of the Great Lakes region, especially some cool weather, cool temperatures in the Cascades. By Sunday morning, there's going to be plenty of warm lows throughout the Gulf, Mid-Atlantic and Southeast, and mild temperatures throughout the Great Plains, Ohio Valley, and the desert Southwest. Chilly temperatures throughout the Pacific Northwest, and even parts of the Great Lakes region in the northern half, the upper Mississippi Valley, and parts of New England too, and the Rockies as well. What do we have for tomorrow night? Hold on just a minute. Alright, I'm back. Anyway, back to this. Plenty of hot temperatures to go around in Texas, parts of the Great Plains, the Southeast, desert Southwest, California, Great Basin, parts of the Rockies too. Chilly temperatures throughout the interior portions of the Northeast. Monday morning, there's going to be plenty of warm lows throughout parts of the Gulf Coast, coastal part of the Southeast. Mild lows throughout the rest of the South, the Great Plains, Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, Desert Southwest. Chilly weather, chilly lows throughout coastal New England, the Pacific Northwest, even the Bay Area, the Sierra Nevadas, parts of the Rockies too. Finally, let's see what we got for Monday night. So by Monday night, there's going to be a lot of heat throughout Texas, the Great Plains, the Southeast, Desert Southwest, Great Basin, and even the Central Valley, California. There's going to be chilly weather throughout coastal New England, Northern Plains, and the Cascades. And by tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of humidity all across the South, all across the Central Southern Plains, mid and lower Mississippi Valleys, Ohio Valley, especially parts of the Northeast, anywhere south of Boston, and even some in the front range of the Northern Rockies, like eastern Montana. And a good amount of moisture throughout other parts of the Northeast, Great Lakes, and even the Northern Plains too. So what do we got for tomorrow night? So anywhere east of the Rockies, there is plenty of moisture to go around. Very excessive moisture all across the Great Plains, South, Ohio Valley, Mississippi Valley, even parts of the East Coast. Good amount throughout much the rest of the Northeast. And a little bit of humidity in the coastal part of Northern California. By Sunday morning, there's going to be a lot of moisture anywhere east of the Rockies, though. But it's very excessive throughout the Great Plains, Ohio Valley, parts of the Mississippi Valley, parts of the East Coast, too. Good amount of moisture throughout the rest of the Northeast, Great Lakes, and even the Northern Plains. Sunday night, there is a lot of moisture to go around, and I mean a lot, anywhere east of the Rockies, plus some parts of the West Coast, though. Monday morning, there's going to be excessive humidity throughout the South, the Ohio Valley, and even the Mid-Atlantic. A lot of moisture all over the Great Plains, the Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes, and just a good amount of moisture throughout the Northeast too. And finally, by Monday night, there is excessive moisture all across not only the South, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes region. Well, basically, in general, anywhere east of the Rockies, they are going to get a lot of humidity to go around. In fact, right behind it, it's nothing. Nothing in the Great Basin, the Desert Southwest. It's on nothing. Let's go back to tomorrow morning where we're going to talk about Cape. There's a lot of Cape all over the Gulf Coast tomorrow morning, especially in the Southern Plains. Yeah, just a good amount of Cape, a good amount of convection throughout the rest of the South, Ohio Valley, parts of the Great Plains, and even the Mid-Atlantic, and even the Northern Rockies too, and as well as the rest of Texas and New Mexico. Tomorrow night, there is a lot of convection all over the lower Mississippi Valley, the Southern Plains, Texas. There's a good amount of Cape throughout the Southeast, Ohio Valley, the Northern Rockies, northern parts of the Northern Plains, and Mississippi Valley. Let's go to Sunday morning. There's going to be a lot of convection throughout the Gulf Coast and as well as the southern plains. A good amount of convection throughout the rest of the south and the mid-Atlantic too, and even the northern plains and parts of the northern Rockies too. Oh, so much going on in my throat. There's a lot of convection all over the Great Plains, the Gulf Coast, the South. Boy, they can never, ever catch a break when it comes to convection. It's a threat. There could be a severe weather threat in the making. Monday morning, there's going to be a lot of CAPE throughout the Gulf Coast, a good amount of CAPE throughout the Great Plains, the Mississippi Valley, the rest of the South, even parts of the northern Rockies too. Finally, widespread CAPE all over the Great Plains, folks. Much of the South as well. Good amount of CAPE throughout the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes region, and especially the northern Rockies. Tomorrow morning, let's go to precipitation. Let's go to here instead, because, it's the meteorological summer and snow is not becoming much of a factor nowadays. So, what do we got? So, basically for tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of rain that's going to happen throughout the Northeast. Right here, and especially the rest of the East Coast. Plenty of showers, a few clouds and showers and storms throughout parts of the South, the Great Plains, Upper Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, and even the Northern Rockies will get some showers. Sorry about that. Tomorrow night, there's still going to be some clouds and showers throughout the Northeast, but some places like the Mid-Atlantic will get some thunderstorms and some severe weather, especially parts of the South and Florida, and as well as the Great Plains region, and even the Northern Rockies too. There's some clouds that could happen throughout the Southern Rockies too. Sunday morning, there's still going to be some clouds, maybe some storms in the Mid-Atlantic, and especially parts of the South too, the lower Mississippi Valley, Southern Plains, and especially in the Northern Plains too. Northern Rockies get some showers going. Sunday night, there's going to be a lot of storms throughout the South, the Mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, and especially the Northern Plains, Upper Mississippi Valley, and as well as the Rockies will get some storms, a few storms, showers. Monday morning, there's going to be still some storms, some showers and storms, and cloud coverage throughout the Mid-Atlantic, and plenty of storms to go around it, and throughout much of the South, the northern Mississippi, Northern Plains, Upper Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Lakes region. Some clouds will be scattered throughout the Rockies, and even some precipitation will move in towards the Pacific Northwest. Finally, by Monday night, there's going to be some clouds throughout parts of the Northeast, with some showers in Maine, and even some showers and some storms throughout the South and Florida, especially the upper Mississippi Valley, Northern Plains, Great Lakes region. Some storms will occur there, and especially parts of the Rockies too. Scattered clouds and showers throughout parts of the Great Basin, Cascades, leeward side of the Cascades, I mean. Well, we're not going to do the snow, folks. There's no need to do it, folks. But I do have the weather topic of the day. Hold on just a minute, folks. Alright, guys, the weather topic of the day is what's the difference between weather and climate? This is something that is more of a popular type of thing for people who are curious about, like, what's the idea with global warming, or what's the idea with the weather. Well, folks, if you want to know all those things, well, you got to ask yourself this. This is a very important one. What's the difference between weather and climate? So here it goes. Weather is the short-term state of the atmosphere at a particular time and place, while climate is the long-term average of weather conditions in a specific region. Weather can change rapidly, even within a day, while climate is more consistent over decades or centuries. Think of weather as what you experience each day and climate as what you can expect over a longer period. Well, folks, that's it for the weather topic of the day and the stream. I'm deeply sorry for those who are hoping for me to play a game today like Minecraft. And as for Kingdom Hearts 2, well, here's the thing, guys. If I'm not... There's no guarantee that I'm going to stream for you guys either tomorrow or Sunday, depending on what's going to happen. Because I got to deal with a lot of things. I might be out of town, or that I might be too busy on Father's Day. But either way, like, a stream will happen either tomorrow or Sunday. But it's not going to be, well, both this weekend. I'm pretty busy. And also, I'm not going to be able to stream for you guys playing Minecraft. Maybe there's a chance I'll play Minecraft tonight. Who knows? But I'm not going to do the weather discussion. Just so you know, folks. That's already been taken care of. Especially the weather topic of the day. Alright? Now, the best thing you can do, guys, is that I'm asking you guys to turn on the notifications after you hit me with a follow. So that you guys will know I'll be streaming the next time. Alright? That way you guys will know. But right now, I'm just keeping you guys in the dark. But the one thing I can guarantee you guys is that I'll be streaming for you guys on Wednesday. No, on Monday, I mean. On Monday, I'll be back, regardless, for either Minecraft. But if I have enough time after work, I'll probably set up Kingdom Hearts 2. But let's just say I can't guarantee that. Alright, folks? Anyway, take care of yourselves, you guys. Hope you guys enjoy a nice weekend if I don't see you guys. And until then, happy Father's Day. Alright? And peace out, everybody. Love you all. See you guys either on Sunday or Saturday. Alright? But if not either of those days, I'll see you guys on Monday. Alright? Peace out, everybody. Love you all. Signing out.